Hello world, Augustine Cortez coming to you live from Web3, and today was a very interesting day because it was essentially the first time I dedicated majority of my day. It's Sunday, so it's not as intensive, but I dedicated majority of my day and my time on the computer to learn more, or I should say, think about how it would be uh, possibly done to create a protocol to create proof of knowledge or proof of skill on chain. So this question has so many inputs and outputs that could make it work, right? Going to the core question is, okay, what is the objective of this proof of knowledge? I think to summarize that, it would be to validate someone's competency in someone's domain. So, okay, so that's proof of knowledge. What does competency mean? There's different types of competency, right? There's the declarative competency where if you ask someone a question, they can declare it. But then there's also competency in the essence of they can learn it quickly and execute, right? Or there's the competency of they might not know it, but they have a base understanding that they can still provide value to an individual. That leads to the question, well, is value the case of competency? And values based on a spectrum. And, in computer science or just in mathematics, it's usually based off binaries like zeros or one, true or false in the case, can it be done? So this is a very difficult question to pinpoint on what does it mean to be competent. Does it mean like accept the value, the term of the spectrum? Is there Nash equilibrium? Is there a point within that spectrum that most people can have a consensus agreement upon? And I'm just thinking all the possible things, and it's very, very difficult because it's a nuanced answer. There will never be a exact answer like there is in um, math and doing possibly induction or formulas and algorithms. However, it is possible to create an algorithm to yield an outcome. And we have to know what type of outcome we want to reach. So if we do decide to go off a spectrum based on quote unquote value, what does that look like? What does that entail? What are the inputs? What are the outputs? How does that look in terms of probability, calculus, stats? How do you build that on chain, code it, and try to interface, get user adoption, and so on. So, this is an area people dedicate lives to. This is, I would say, people probably at the level of PhDs where they sit down and really, focus on one core thesis. They do excessive amount of research and try to find answers. Um, I didn't go down traditional academia, but I am obsessed with this. It's something I dedicate my life towards for the past several years. And every year or every couple of months, I feel a new level be entered or me entering a new level. And it's definitely a new one coming into the space of trying to create an algorithm, trying to create a protocol, thinking of all the variables, inputs, outputs, how to mesh it together, create a sequential process, and scale it onto Web3, which I'm learning Web3 simultaneously, right? So it's like a omnipotent challenge. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be lots of ups and downs. I'm going to have to be working with really competent people at this point now, where people can give input from like socioeconomic to technological to the math to all the potential domains that mesh together to create the system. And um, who knows really how it's going to look, but I'm glad I got, the time today to just sit down and ponder and wonder because it's going to be a really, really long journey. And the specific areas I was learning about were algorithms, right? Like the level of complexity, how to do proof induction, very basic intro stuff to algorithms, because I don't have a traditional technical background. There's some areas where when I think about it, I'm like, okay, I gotta go to learn this specifically. And some of these things are core areas that I wish I learned a long time ago, but just haven't, and learn it as you go. But um piggybacking, or I should say, framing a new level of understanding in this algorithm space, it's going to be very, very important, because as a overview executor, I will understand and have an idea of what type of inputs and outputs to bring in and work with. Then also learning about the levels of the variables. Good thing about building and learn for the past years, I learned a lot about how we learn, from our working memory, converting it from short term to long term, cognitive exercises, interface learning, um, really how we just process stimulus, convert it into uh, thoughts, and then do mental exercises that lead to us thinking about it in our internal software. And then we get this intelligence. So with that, it's okay, piggybacking on that knowledge, that base, how does this process take it to the next level and do it at a socio-economic scale, right? So as you can tell, this is something I'm riffing off. I don't have a base. I don't have a tangent to tie the strings together. But, this is the beauty of being in the spaces. It's like being in a black hole, not a black hole, but actually a black place where you don't know what's going on, what's out there, but you just have one, like a lighter close to you, where you can just start seeing things and you can memorize where you've been in this dark place. I think there's a mathematician that really cool quote. He said, learning math, or I forgot what field he learned. It's like exploring a mansion in the dark, and you first stumble, you fall, you break things, but then you get familiar with the mansion and you know where the objects and the things are, and then you will reach the point of full understanding where you can turn on the switch. And then when you turn on the switch, you see everything. You see how everything is pretty much connected together. And that's when you get that level of understanding where you can bridge, you got the inner block of knowledge coming together. And that's where we're going at, right? Right now we're still in the dark mansion, but the light will soon flicker. Okay, so I'll conclude here and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.